Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Movie Couple Live, the show where we talk about the latest in movie news and pop culture. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And it feels so good to be back. We know it's been forever, so right off the top, we want to say thank you for coming back to our live show today to hang out with us because it's been a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, life just kind of came crashing all together, and we were like, things started going, and we were like, oh, we'll just put it off just with this 1 week, and then another week, and then we're like, we need to come back. We miss you guys. We miss talking nerdy to you guys. So, but we are finally back, and we finally both had a Saturday off.
Yeah.
That we could come back and do some movie talk with y'all.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things and also real quick, apologies for all the constructions that you hear. Apparently today is the day that all of our neighbors decided they wanted to have their handy person or contract man, person, woman come out and do stuff. So it's been noise since like 8 o'clock this morning, which is not
on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's not 8 o'clock is not normally like early on a weekday, but on a Saturday I was like, why are you awake? Why are you working?
Shouldn't you be still hungover from Friday night partying?
Anyways, we are here. We're hanging out. So grab your coffee, your beverage of choice, liquid IV if you have it. The weather's starting to warm up, so
we're gonna need it.
Yes. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and get into. Oh wait, it's been so long since we've done this. I don't even have show notes up, but what?
I'm just laughing at how many things were like when we were setting up everything. I'm like, wait a second, it's been so long. How do I plug in this? Where do the lights go? How does this happen? And then we were also like, oh wait, we also have to do all of the show notes. So yeah, it's a little bit. This might be a little bit of a bumpy ride, but thank you guys so much for joining us.
To be honest, though, our lives are always kind of chaotic and bumpy. If you've been here, a lot of you have been here since the beginning. That's literally, we don't claim to be professionals. We just like talking with you guys. So real quick, before we get into all the topics. Oh, MK's Power is back. Nice.
Woohoo!
We want to say thank you. I don't even know if Anthony's still in here because I think he has work. But Anthony, thank you so much for
Anthony.
The super chat. $20. Thank you so much. Dustin, Wendy, yay. It's a live stream Saturday on my way to work. Wanted to show some love. Thank you so much. Mando season 3 was amazing. And the final epic, the finale epic, I enjoyed it all. Sorry, I wrote a lot. That's okay. Love you guys. Take it easy, and he will rewatch later. Thank you so much, Anthony. You are the best.
And speaking of Mandalorian season 3, that is going to be one of our topics today. Yes. You see, we're going to be talking about Mandalorian season 3. We're going to be talking about our thoughts on the entire season, not just individual episodes, but our thoughts of how it fits into the Mandoverse and how it compares to maybe some of the other episodes that we have seen. Also, we're going to be talking a little bit about a rumor that's going around about who might be playing Mr. Reed Richards. So right now, the rumor going around that is Adam Driver, which makes sense.
And of course, we have to just address this a little bit, the allegation that is happening with Jonathan Majors, who is playing Kang in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we'll talk about that a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and get into The Mandalorian season 3 first. Just a fair warning to everybody. This is going to be spoiler filled. We figure that it's been enough time for everybody to have watched the finale. So with that, let's go ahead and get into it. Season 3, The Mandalorian. You guys know we love the show so much ever since its first season. And in fact, I mean, granted, Disney Plus was like very new at the time when that dropped.
Disney Plus was as new as you can get. This was their big headlining show that was coming out. Get Disney Plus so you can watch not just The Mandalorian, but the very first Star Wars live action TV show to ever come out in the history of Star Wars. So it was it was groundbreaking. It was, the fact that they were also making a dark, gritty, Western style Star Wars TV show was just something so brand new, something so groundbreaking. And the fact that the way that they shot it was in the volume. So that was a whole new way of making TV shows. Mandalorian season 1 was a big deal.
Yeah, and the anticipation was real. The fact that Disney Plus kind of crashed Remember on the first night we were trying to watch it and
right.
like nothing was happening. A lot of people were like, it's not even showing up on my TV because I think it's an influx of all these people trying to log onto the system at the same time to watch the show. And that Disney and streaming was still kind of like in its new, it wasn't brand new, but it was new for Disney Plus. So it was just a lot. And look how far we come. We're in season 3. So let's go ahead and get into it. Before we do, I see a super chat from Brenna Marr.
Thank you, Brenna.
The Mystic. Hello. Thank you so much for your super chat. Brenna, I hope you're well. Brenna says, hello, Dustin and Wendy, The Mandalorian season 3. And its finale was amazing. This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way. Interesting. I am seeing, sorry, the interesting was not a reply to Brennan. My ADHD kicked in and I saw this little thing and I was like, what is that?
Oh, your little icon.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with it. The whole stream will go down if I decided to explore that.
What does this button do?
Live stream over. So let's get into
Navi,
it.
fix it.
So The Mandalorian season 3, I think at this point we can acknowledge that the show title, even though it's called The Mandalorian and it started with Din Djarin's journey, it is no longer solely focused on Din Djarin, but the Mandalorians as a whole. And this season, we really got to see Bo-Katan's journey.
Yes.
And I like how they kind of build her up to be this, she's got a chip on her shoulder. She's feeling all these things because she lost the Darksaber. Everyone's essentially abandoned her. She has no home. And I was like, man, she is just alone and sad.
She has this
maybe a little bitter.
At the end of episode 2, I think, is when we actually saw the huge castle. And because Din goes down to Mandalore. I'm getting my episodes mixed up a little bit, but yeah, it was in episode 2 that we get to see the huge castle. But yeah, she's in there by herself.
Yeah,
she has this huge house, this huge castle, and everyone's just abandoned her.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I really loved about the season. I really thought that it was important for Bo to have her story told and move forward. And plus we have Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Playing Bo. She's also the voice actress for the Clone Wars. And I don't remember if Bo was in Rebels.
Yes, she was.
Oh, she was?
Because Sabine gives her the Darksaber.
That's
and
right.
then, she holds it over her head and everyone's like, yeah, Mandalore!
Yes.
And then Moff Gideon just bombs the living heck out of Mandalore and takes the Darksaber.
So with that said, this season, as much as this is my own personal thought, as much as I enjoyed the season as a whole, I feel like it's not up to par as season 1 or season 2. And Brian has a very interesting comment here that maybe has something to do with it. I was not aware that Pedro literally was not on set for season 3. But Brian says, didn't feel as good since Pedro wasn't on set. So I don't know if it's because he was busy filming. Man is working.
Yep, he has now become Daddy Pascal very much because he's daddy to Grogu, he's daddy to Ellie in The Last of Us, and he is now he is hitting the ground running with his career.
Right.
And from what I could see, it could not happen to a nicer guy. I'm happy. I want to see more Pedro Pascal. Heck, there are K-pop cards.
Well, that's fan made. It's not official. My friend Laura, who is BTS Army, she so one of the things in K-pop is that they have these photo cards. You don't know where they are.
No, I don't know where unfortunately I do not know where you keep your photo cards, hon.
So these are photo cards. I'll take out the ones. There's official ones and there's unofficial ones. So when you buy an album, there are inclusions. And they are called photo cards. I'll just show you the BTS ones. So they're essentially think baseball cards.
Yeah.
Right.
But it doesn't K-pop idols.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the player stats. Well, do the
baseball cards definitely have
like the stats on it and stuff, right? Okay.
And
so
info.
K-pop photo cards do not have that, but it's equivalent to like how people collect baseball cards. So think of that and I just apply it to these cards. So that's what kind of these look like. This is Hobie from BTS. So this looks like that. And in the back, and so people will buy albums, like multiple albums to collect them.
Collect all of them.
Just like you would buy how many packs of like baseball cards to get the player that you want.
But some people have made those, but for Pedro Pascal.
For Pedro Pascal.
And I love it.
We were handing them out at the Stray Kids concert, and people were losing their mind. It was so funny. I can't take credit for it, but my friend made them. She gave me one, and I have my little collection. Look, it's Blackpink. They're always in my area.
And I honestly just love just how Pedro Pascal has grown into these characters, into these roles. When they have behind the scenes footage, you see just how much fun him and the crew and other cast members are having. But honestly, it is a little disconcerting to hear that he wasn't on set. Yeah. Either as much or at all.
I'll play devil's advocate on this. I definitely felt it a little bit, but at the same time, his double in the suit, who has been with the show since season 1, does it so well that I don't really feel like it's, and plus the Mandalorian, a part of their creed is they don't remove the helmet. He obviously revowed himself and like went ahead and went and bathed in the living waters of Mandalore just so he can stay true to the creed.
Yeah.
So I think it was okay for this season to not see his face in it, and it's still his voice. The acting is still there. I don't really think it. For me, I didn't know that. I didn't think that, it's not as good because Pedro wasn't on set. I felt like the writing and the structure of this season felt kind of different than the first 2. Like some of the episodes felt very disjointed in the rest of the story. I understand why they put them in there, but it felt like it interrupted the flow of the show, of the normal flow of the show.
Honestly, that would probably be my biggest criticism about this season of The Mandalorian. It felt like Mandalorian season 1, season 2 were going on this journey, on this really epic storyline, and then they started to get to a point to where they're like, oh, wait a second, they're not going to quite line up to where we want the Mandalorian to be, so they had to change direction just a little bit to make it fit and connect with the rest of this world, because now that it's such a huge success, people love these characters, people want to see more of the Mandalorian lore. They're like, ooh, we gotta line up some things, and I feel really bad. I'm a little upset about some of the decisions that they've made, because in season 1 there were some big cliffhangers, some big storylines that were like, oh, what does this mean? Where is this going? Where are they going with collecting Grogu's Force-sensitive blood? Or why do they need his DNA? Does this mean we're going to be building up to Snoke? Are we going to be building up to this or that? Spoiler alert, if you have not seen it yet.
They already know it's literally...
I am now going to spoil this for you. So I know some of you were like, wait, I haven't
seen
leave.
It.
Debbie, I'm sorry.
Debbie.
We love you.
She hasn't finished watching.
Big spoiler alert right here. And at the end of the season, we just find out, oh, yeah, Moff Gideon's making clones of himself that are hopefully being able to be Force sensitive. And I'm like, they didn't really...
We're so different on that.
I feel, you liked it. And honestly, I think they could have pulled it off.
It's that I don't mind it. It makes sense for Moff Gideon because he's so full of himself. He's such an egomaniac and a narcissist. Of course, he cloned himself because what else is better than a whole army of Moff Gideons? But now the thing that he craves that he cannot have is to be a Force user. And with that, cloning technology and Grogu's like DNA or mini-chlorians or whatever you want to call it, he now has that ability. So it makes sense. We all wondered, okay, like, did he survive? Okay, he survived. Where is he now? So like that's why it made sense to me, and I didn't mind it.
Don't get me wrong. There are some things about that kind of storyline that could have worked. I think if they would have cut out, like, say, a lot of episode 3, where it was just them on Coruscant, spending so much time with the scientist, you could have congealed that storyline a lot more, and then given more time to when they do finally meet the clones. And they're like, oh my gosh, these are clones of Moff Gideon. They might be Force sensitive, or they don't find out that they're Force sensitive until they try to destroy the clones. A couple of the clones break out, and there's a little bit of a fight, and they start using the Force. Instead of telling us that, oh, these are Force-sensitive clones, we see it and we find out ourselves. Instead of just Moff Gideon going, you destroyed my Force-sensitive clones. And to have just a little bit of a fight with these things, and they seem a little bit more barbaric, a little bit more bloodthirsty, because in all of the what is that called? The extended universe for Star Wars. They've tried to do cloning of Force sensitive people, and it never turned out right. They always ended up going crazy or being insane, or something went wrong. And being able to show a little bit of that, to be like, hey, they're on the right path to cloning Force sensitive people, but there's still something wrong. And then when you go into Ahsoka, because there is a lot of cloning that might happen, because they mentioned it in episode 7. He was like, well, cloning is, I'm not the fanatic about cloning, you are. That's what Moff Gideon said to one of the other.
Isn't not the guy like kind of direct, like a direct line to Thrawn?
Yes.
I forgot his name already, but somebody who's a part of the Shadow Council. I
think that would have been a really cool fight instead of the Praetorian
Guards.
Thank you. I always say the Red Guards. Having a fight with them, which was a good fight. I think you could have had a really cool fight with some savage, Force sensitive Moff Gideon clones and Grogu.
I have thoughts about that fight.
Oh, really? Wait, good thoughts or bad? Tell me about your thoughts.
Okay,
about
so
that fight.
When the Praetorian, so first of all, we saw them in the sequel, which happened way later than the Mandalorian, correct? The Daisy Ridley stuff.
Oh wait, no, that's
those aren't Praetorian Guards.
Daisy, well, that would have been in the
that comes after the Mandalorian.
Yes.
Okay, so we see them again, so we know they stick around. My biggest thing is Paz. Can you turn that down a little bit?
I'm getting distracted. I'm sorry.
Paz fought 3-on-1, and I know he's a little bit bigger, and he was trying to stall, and he could take a hit. But the fight between Paz and the 3 Praetorian Guards versus the fight between like the Praetorians and like just Grogu alone before Din got in there felt like they were 3 completely different Praetorian Guards. Like the skill was not consistent. Obviously they're not gonna off Grogu, right? Because that would be just outrage from all the fans. But it just felt like they really, I don't know. I didn't buy that they couldn't do, not saying they needed to harm the baby, but
Grogu kind of needed to take some hits.
Or not even that, where like it could have, like Din could have struggled more. It just felt like it was so kind of easy because plot. Like they both had to survive.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I felt about the Praetorian Guards. Obviously they kind of improved as time goes on, because later on when we see them in like the sequels, I guess, the prequel sequels, or whatever you want to call it, just the sequels, the Daisy Ridley stuff, like they obviously are highly skilled. I don't know, I just felt like it was kind of inconsistent, and that's what I felt with this. Like I liked the season, but some episodes felt kind of, for storytelling and writing wise, it felt, I don't know, it felt inconsistent.
Yeah, and there was also some storylines that I didn't really think they needed to tell. Like the one episode with Jack Black. Don't get me wrong, I thought he was hilarious. I thought he was great. But I'm kind of sitting here watching this episode where I'm like, what was the point of this?
I lied. I don't have a photo of them. I'm sorry. I thought I pulled one, but I don't see it in here.
And I felt there were some episodes that were definitely filler episodes that I felt like they could have tightened up a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And I felt like we were building up to something a little bit more grand, and we could have spent more time on all of the topics that we had been building up to, like what is Moff Gideon using the DNA for, Grogu for, and it was just kind of like oh shoot, we need to mention this. Okay, have a scene with them in the cloning vats, and then Moff Gideon explains everything. Okay, good. Now let's move on.
Yeah,
I felt like that's 2 seasons of buildup of what is this. And it was just dumped in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, that's what we were going for. Now, if they plan to do something like this further in the future, to where we don't know if the Moff Gideon that died in that armor was the real Moff Gideon. That could have been a clone. Moff Gideon could have been like, hey, you know what? I'm not putting myself in danger. I'm going to send a clone out of myself that I might have like some connection with. And I'm going to have them do all the dirty work. I'm not putting myself in anywhere near trouble.
It's possible.
And they could have just killed a clone of Moff Gideon, or the real Moff Gideon's dead and a clone survived. So in season 4 of The Mandalorian,
like the Palpatine thing.
Exactly. So we now get a clone of Moff Gideon out and about in the world that is force sensitive, that is wreaking havoc. And the fact that someone that intelligent, but now crazy and has the power of the Force, I think would be really cool to be able to explore.
Yeah. So one of the things, speaking of things that I wish they explored more, they gave us just a small sneak peek. And yes, I know that who's mentioning it? Sean is mentioning it in the comments that there is going to be The Mandalorian, the movie that is in production. It's not in production, but is in development. So this could all be building up to things that they eventually want to put in the movie. But they did give us it was this season, I believe. Was this season?
Yes, it was in season 3.
Grogu's flashback.
Episode 3. And when Grogu got out of the Jedi, how Grogu got out of the Jedi Temple, we finally got that revealed.
Yeah.
And I love the fact on who was the Jedi that got him out.
Best. Let's go.
And I'm like, dude, that is an awesome redemption story for that actor. I mean, to go from Jar Jar Binks to being the Jedi Knight that got Grogu out of the Jedi Temple during Order 66. And the fact that it's the same Jedi Master that he played in that kids' competition show that they had on Disney Plus. I'm like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's so fun.
His character.
To bring him back.
So cool. So I really like that we got to a look into how Grogu was able to survive Order 66. I don't know if Mama Beth's character also survived Order 66. I like to hope so, but where it's not clear whether he did or not, but I like to think so. Caloran Beck, thank you so much, Tur. So I kind of wanted a little bit more of that, but I understand that like this is called The Mandalorian, so it wasn't really necessary for me to have in this season, but it was a nice hint. I did want a little bit more. I thought maybe the next episode we can get a little bit more of that for him to like reach all the way into his consciousness and like pull up that memory. But maybe they're saving it for the movie, and who knows what the plan is for Grogu.
Yeah, and right, I would love for them to have.
He can't even talk yet.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the way that they ended it was very much a happily ever after, which kind of bugged me a little.
Old-timey Star Wars.
Old-timey Star Wars. Very old-timey Disney, all of this trauma and traumatic, and now we live happily ever after. But I think what they're really doing is going, okay, we have everything nice and in a package for Mando and Grogu. We're going to take them and set them aside. We're going to build up this other universe. And then once this is built up, okay, now Grogu, like say 10 years later, I think would be really cool. So that means now we get to see a Grogu that's a little bit older. And hopefully Grogu has a little bit bigger of a vocabulary and he's able to talk, which is going to be no. Which I have to admit, I loved that scene with the IG droid. Yeah. And I just thought it was so cool, even though he was able to completely control IG and still hit that button, even though I guess he could have been using the Force. He could have been controlling with his hands and use the Force to push the button. What is this underneath my feet?
It's fine. Just leave it. I think my favorite is that in season 1, Grogu, once he was under the company of Din, he liked to play with the little knobs. Yeah. And now he gets to drive it and play. He has all the knobs. He has 2 knobs. So I thought that was super cute. We have go ahead.
Oh, so one more thing. I think also... So I think it was, I can't remember who said it or where I heard it, or even if it's true. They were saying that the time that passed from Grogu leaving with Luke Skywalker and Grogu going back to Din is like 2 years. So there's a big time jump in there. So we get a few more years. So Grogu did train with Luke Skywalker for like 2 years.
Yeah, that's fine. And that makes sense. So we'll see how it shapes up. As of season 4, I don't think they announced any additional seasons as of now for The Mandalorian. That's not to say that they're not going to. They just don't need to make that announcement yet, because you know what? The fan base is going to be there for whenever they announce it. So it doesn't matter. Like the fan base is built in, but they did announce the movie. So I think that's really cool. And that means to me that like they're not done with, you know, the Mando universe. And we got Ahsoka coming up. We've got Acolyte. We got Skeleton Crew, which I'm super excited for. So I think it's very, very exciting for more of that. I'm looking forward to Ahsoka.
I'm also very curious about Acolyte because we haven't gotten any information about
I think we know the cast.
I think we know the cast, but we don't really know the storyline very much.
Let's do a quick Google.
I'm excited for it because anything that focuses a little bit more on the dark side, I want them to dive in a little bit more to the High Republic.
So it's set at the end of the High Republic era before the events of the main Star Wars film. Oh, that's right. Amanda Stenberg. So they're going to be in it. And then Yi Jung-jae, who from Squid Game, the lead, is going to be in starring roles. That's very exciting. That's super exciting. I mean, I got all these like K-drama actors that's going to be in Disney stuff and in Marvel stuff. Park Seo-joon is going to be in the Marvels. So I'm super excited. I like yelled. I was like, Park Seo-joon! Watch Itaewon Class if you haven't watched Itaewon Class. Because he's in it and he's great. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get to our super chats.
Yes, we've got actually
two of them. Thank you so much to J Master. Which one was first? This one.
Yes.
All right, this one is from... Oh, why can't I put it? Can I put it up?
I think so.
Why is it not letting me? There we go. Okay. This one from Jay says...
Thank you so much, Jay.
Thank you. Did you guys know Sony and Disney announced that Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy and The Amazing Spider-Man is now streaming on Disney Plus in the US on May 12th? Spider-Man Homecoming and Venom.
Yep.
Will be on Disney Plus.
I did hear that all of the Spider-Man
we got
are going to be up
last.
on Disney Plus. So I'm excited. I think we should now probably do like a little Spider-Man binge.
Yeah, like a rewatch. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans in a minute. I haven't watched it in a while.
It's been a while.
So we will definitely watch that, and as well as the Amazing Spider-Man. And then we have.
And I'm wondering if they're ever going to bring out the what is it called? Oh, do you want to see the sticker?
I want to see the sticker. Thank you so much to Soccer TL.
It's a little dancing
pair. I think
dancing pair.
So cute. Thank you so much for your super sticker. It doesn't show on StreamYard, unfortunately, but we can see it.
Does see it on the stream.
You guys can see it on the If you're watching directly from YouTube, you can see it. Sorry, go ahead.
I completely forgot.
All right. Next super chat, also from J Master. Thank you.
Jay.
Jay says, to follow on that, yesterday Sony on their press release announced more Sony Marvel movies and shows. Also, Sony Library of Movies and Shows will be on Disney Plus US later this year and moving forward. Oh. So
that means we're probably going to get into the Spider-Verse.
Is that not on there yet?
I don't think so.
Wow.
Not yet. But they also might get what is that called? We might get all of the Fantastic Four movies that Sony did. Mm-hmm. That means we'll probably get the X-Men movies, which is cool. Yeah. It's always cool to be able to have more of the movies you know and love in one place. Yes. And plus, Sony doesn't really have a streaming service, right? They don't have like a Sony Plus.
No, I don't think so. I'm trying to think what like parent or sister company Sony has. I don't think they have it.
I'm curious on how this relationship between between Sony and Disney is going to start to congeal a little bit, how it's actually going to start working together, because I don't think Disney could outright buy Sony any longer, because I think that merge would be shut down. Because they already own Fox.
It's a monopoly.
It would be too much of a monopoly.
Yeah, they couldn't do it.
So, but yet, what is the next step down from actually merging is having this really, really close partnership to where Sony's like, you know what? If we want to make sure we don't sink, we're just going to hook ourselves to Disney and have them pull us so we can still do our business, and we'll have Disney be able to kind of do the heavy lifting.
So, Root22 in the chat is saying that Sony streaming is Crunchyroll, which is like anime based. You know Crunchyroll.
Yeah, I know Crunchyroll.
And
I just didn't know that was.
I didn't know that either.
I did not know that. Yeah, I did not know that those were owned by Sony.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with that said, overall thoughts to wrap up on The Mandalorian. It was a very fun season. I think I enjoyed seeing Bo-Katan's arc the most because that's what they really focused on, and I like that she kind of got away from the ideal of without the dark saber, I am nothing.
Yeah.
It took her a long time to get there, but she got there. So I enjoy seeing that. I love getting to see Katie as Bo. And I look forward to, if they cross over a little bit into Ahsoka, that'd be great. It's not necessary because we'll have the movie.
Yeah. And for me, I did enjoy a lot of the things about the season. There were a lot of things that I was kind of disappointed in. I was a little disappointed that we got that tease about the hyperspace whales at the very beginning, but didn't show us. But it just, and a little tease of what's coming. The mythosaur, I was hoping that we would get a moment with the mythosaur and not just that one little glimpse of him at the end. But I am excited the fact that now that the darksaber is destroyed,
yes,
that the Mandalorians can move forward and actually get a true leader and be able to have it a little bit easier for them to actually now grow the Mandalorian culture more, to where they're kind of like, maybe fighting each other and killing each other isn't the best way. We can still be a strong military, but that doesn't mean we have to be killing each other.
Yeah.
We can work together.
Mandalorians are stronger together.
This is the way.
So another super chat from Jay, and then we're going to move on to our next topic. Thank you so much, Jay, for your super chat. Jay writes, back in 2021, The Hollywood Reporter broke news that Sony and Disney struck a deal to get all Sony movies from 2022 through 2026 will arrive on Disney Plus as we get closer to the Netflix deal. Oh, the Netflix deal expires this year. Okay, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and Disney is, I think, was because of their connection through Spider-Man and Marvel. I think that's a good partner to have, and as far as streaming goes, so that's great. Okay, should we move on to our next?
Oh yeah, let's move on to our. Oh, we got one more super chat that just came in.
What did I just do?
Buttons. You are pushing all the buttons.
I'm sorry. Theodore Harris, thank you so much for your super chat. Theodore writes, I heard the goal of Marvel Studios is to eventually get all Marvel-themed movies on Disney Plus, i.e. Ghost Rider, Daredevil, Blade, the trilogy, and etc. That would make sense.
I can't wait for them to actually bring Blade onto Disney Plus, because that's one trilogy that I really want to binge.
Don't we have the DVDs though?
I don't think we have all of them. I don't think we have all three of them.
What do we? Oh, really?
Yeah.
We have the first one for sure. I think we have duplicates because it's my copy and your copy.
I thought we got rid of all of our duplicates.
Oh, maybe.
But anyways, I would love to still see Blade again. But yeah, it would make sense for them to want to have all of the Marvel properties in one place, especially the fact that it's Big Daddy Marvel.
Yeah, I'm collecting them like Pokemon.
Gotta catch them.
Gotta catch them all. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next topic. And we're treating this as a rumor. This is not confirmed. Rumor. This is not even being reported by the trades, because that's how much of a rumor it is. But potentially, Adam Driver is being eyed to play Reed Richards in the MCU. So obviously he is no stranger to the Disney family. He is Kylo Ren. I think he's done some other...
A lot of other Disney properties, probably.
I think so, maybe. But what do we think? Just as like a fan theory, fun, nothing set in stone. How do we feel about Adam Driver playing Reed Richards?
My first instinct when I hear that Adam Driver is Reed Richards, I was like, huh. Because he's always kind of struck me as a very intense actor.
He is super intense.
And even in this comedy stuff that he does.
His comedy is so good though.
His comedy don't get me wrong, it's good, but it's very kind of like that intense, dry, deadpan comedy that is very funny.
Undercover Boss.
Undercover Boss is him as Kylo Ren. But I don't know. I mean, I guess he really could pull off a good Reed Richards. And it also depends on which direction that they are going to go with Reed Richards. Because if you make him very much really super into his work, very focused, very, very intense on his work, it makes sense to cast Adam Driver. And plus, Adam Driver is huge. He's going to make everyone else look
like in his actual size.
Yeah.
Yeah, the man is like large. He's like 6'6". He's built like this.
Yeah.
6'2".
All you had to do is look in
tall.
And which one did he show coming topless? It was the second one, Jedi. The end of I can't even remember, but the second sequel,
The Force Awakens and
The Last
Jedi, the Ryan
to where
Johnson
he's
one.
just there, and he has that triangle shaped body.
Yeah.
So I'm just a little curious about it.
Yeah. So when I first heard of
Late to the Party,
hi Robert, hi Vanessa. When I first heard it, I thought, well, acting wise, it's no problem. He's such a great actor. I think he really fully invests in the script that he gets, and he makes really, really great and important choices.
Yes.
And he sticks to those choices, and he like really, really understands the character, but not to the point where he's just like, how do I say it? Like, he's not a caricature of that character. Like he's really intense, right? So he like really studies as all actors do, but he most of all kind of like melts into these roles. With that said, acting ability is aside, because the man is so talented and so good at every movie and every role that I've seen him in, big or small. I can't picture him as Reed Richards.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard...
I can't see it. I don't know why I can't see it. You know what I can see? I can see him being Dr. Doom.
That would be really good.
I don't mean to put him in the villain category, because I know he's also... Well, Kylo is kind of great, but like, he started as a villain.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, for me, the boat with Krasinski as Reed Richards has like sailed, because I think it's pretty clear we're not going to get him or Emily Blunt as either of them, you know, in the Fantastic Four, and that's fine. There's tons of actors, tons of actresses that would be perfect for the role. But I don't know. I don't see Adam Driver as Reed Richards. I've been trying to picture it since I heard, and I was like, I can't do it.
It's like, I know he's a great actor. I know he can do the role, but when I heard Adam Driver, I was like, there's just something that doesn't quite connect. Mm-hmm. Something that just doesn't make me go, that's a good choice.
Yeah. But I will say this, for casting, Disney casting, it's always Sarah Haley Finn, who's been casting for literally almost every single Disney Plus or Disney Marvel project. And she's fantastic. She knows what she's looking for. She's got an eye for talent. So if, like, let's say the rumor, there is some truth to this rumor, and he's on the short list, we're being eyed, or it's based, or he's got a deal, I don't know. Because again, Disney's not reporting, is not making a statement on this. None of the trades are reporting it. So treat it as a rumor until we hear otherwise. But she knows what she's doing. So if she can see Adam Driver as Reed Richards, then I would feel like, okay, then they made that choice. Yeah, for a reason. So
they do some. I mean, yeah, Marvel does some really good casting.
Yes.
Of their characters. So, you know, it's kind of like when we first heard the announcement as Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people had the same reaction of what? But then we saw her, and we're like, now we don't want to see.
No, I love her.
We don't want to see anyone else as Wonder Woman. So I am cautiously optimistic about this announcement. About not this announcement, but about this rumor. Yeah. That if it is true, we're in for a good Reed Richards, even though it might not be the one that we thought, you know, or the kind of Reed Richards that we would have expected.
Yes, we got another super chat from Jay. Jay, thank you so much. Jay writes, John Campea talk about this of, sorry, I don't have my glasses in. That's why I'm reading funny. John Campea talk about this of Adam Driver as Reed Richards on his show, then mentioned that he contacted people close to the studio, got told that Adam is in final negotiations to close the deal at Marvel. Well, look, I would be happy for Adam because, again, it's not the acting at all. He is so good in drama and in comedy. He's gonna. I don't know if you guys have seen 65. He can tackle action. I mean, Star Wars. That's a lot of action. So like, I am not worried about the man's ability at all. It's really of just like a personal thing where like I can't quite picture him as Reed. But again, that's like pre-costume, pre-hair and makeup, and I don't know how old Reed is supposed to be. Adam's kind of young, right?
It all depends on. Actually, no. I think Adam Driver would be a good age for it.
How old is?
It depends on which story you're telling.
Yeah.
But he's always kind of been, I guess, in his midlife, like 40s,
40s. Adam Driver's not 40.
Well, I know, but you could make him a younger Reed Richards.
I see.
But this is also because there's times that he has kids. This is times when he has a huge family. He's always kind of had that gray on the side of his head.
I call it the genius hair.
The genius hair.
Okay, so yeah, between the 30s and 50s.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got another super chat. Theodore Harris, thank you so much. Who writes, Reed can be jerk at times, and a lot of his choices are very questionable at best.
Well, it's because he's very much a 100% brain person.
Yeah, he's like that. He's too science.
Yeah, and you know what? I guess Adam Driver could pull that off. He can pull off that very logical, but yet not emotional character. I think he'd be able to pull it off, even though he played Kylo Ren, who was very much a...
Adam Driver's 39? I thought he was much younger. I thought he was like 34.
That's
he
when
doesn't
you say,
look
hey, he's 39, I'm like, yeah, that fits.
Oh, what's his skincare routine? Adam, what are you eating?
It's the movie star skincare.
The movie star treatment. Oh my God. Okay. And we have an update, another super chat from Jay.
Thank you.
Who writes, update, Jeff Snyder corroborated, am I saying that word right? The report that Adam Driver is in talk for Marvel Studios' Fantastic Four movie for the role of Reed Richards on Hot Mic Podcast with Roca on Thursday. So with Jeff, who I have like witnessed him working in person, physically, like listen to him on the phone. I'm not hearing the other side of the conversation, but I will say Jeff does chase down the sources. So I don't think he'd say it just to say it. So we will see. If the rumors are coming out, and
we have people confirming these rumors,
or alleged rumors. I want to be really careful with the language that we use here. We will probably get an official statement or some sort of breaking news from the trades soon. But nonetheless, like the caliber of acting will be great. I saw Late to the Party put in that for Sue Storm, Vanessa Kirby would be great, and I was like, ooh, I haven't thought about her as Sue Storm, but I can 100% see it. She is in Mission Impossible, the blonde.
Yeah.
Like she would actually, those two would look pretty good together.
Yeah, you're right.
Now I'm seeing it. I don't know if she's little or not. I think she's kind of little.
That would be kind of funny to see Adam Driver and Sue
They
Storm.
have to Apple box everybody around Adam Driver because he is giant.
But honestly, I still agree with you, and also a lot of people are saying it in the chat. I saw Ruru.
Oh, she's tall. She's 5'7".
Oh, perfect. Ruru 2 was saying it, and a couple others were also saying it. That I think I'd much rather see Adam Driver as Dr. Doom. I think he could pull off a really good intense.
It's because he's intense.
Yeah,
but like,
and I think he could pull off that arrogance because Dr. Doom has just got to be so malevolently arrogant. And Adam Driver has that voice to begin with. That is just so deep and rumbly. And I'm like, but who knows? We might be led by the nose in one direction. They're like, oh yeah, Reed Richards. Oh, we fooled you. He's Dr. Doom.
We won't know until the final statement comes out whenever Marvel Disney is ready to release that information. But we will be here. We'll be talking about it, whether it's on a live stream or on shorts. We'll figure something out whenever that releases. Mural Jack is feeling sick today. I'm sorry you're feeling sick. Get lots of rest, drink lots of water, and just sleep.
Get that vitamin C.
Want to make something quick? I have bread and sausages. Hey, you know what? Comfort food.
Oh,
we're gonna go get ice cream after this. That's our comfort food.
It's getting pretty toasty out there, so it's very well placed. Good timing.
It's getting hot in here. I'm not going to sing the rest of the song. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and move on to our next topic after this super chat from Jay. My goodness, Jay, thank you so much. Who writes, how about this for a show? Kevin Feige bringing Adam Driver at San Diego Comic-Con to introduce him as Reed Richards, and the crowd goes wild.
Oh, most definitely.
Marvel never misses with Hall Hall H.
And Kevin Feige always puts on a good show.
He's great for someone who doesn't really like to do that kind of stuff. Like his and it's on a prompter, but like his reads are always really, really good. And the way he presents is really good. You can just tell he's like passionate about this whole Marvel thing. So yeah. Like, I mean, you wouldn't be in a position like his if you're not passionate about, MCU. But that would be kind of crazy. I remember we were there for the Blade announcement.
Yeah.
And they did it they like snuck it in. And we're like, wait, what? It was at the very end, very last minute. Late to the Party was there, so they can attest this. I also remember them bringing out Simu Liu to introduce him as Shang-Chi. And like most people didn't know who he was. If you hadn't watched Kim's Convenience, you're not going to know who Simu Liu was. And the fact that he like clowned everybody, he came out speaking Chinese. And like sometimes it doesn't register that I'm hearing Chinese because it's so natural to my ears. And I looked around, I was like, why is no one reacting? Oh, right. Not everybody understands this language. So I thought it was cool. And everybody kind of was like, oh, this dude doesn't speak English. He's gonna be and I was like, but he does, he's Canadian. So yeah. All right. Late to the Party says SDCC would be a great place to announce the cast for Fantastic Four, like they did for Blade movie. They have yet to make.
And you know what though? But
that's the thing. Blade.
That is what they're doing. I mean, they are always been really good at is San Diego Comic-Con. That's where they make the big announcements.
Remember when but Tom Hiddleston showed up in his full Loki outfit? He's like, Neo!
I am burdened with glorious purpose. Oh, God. They always do a great show at Comic-Con. Yeah. That's always going to be, I think.
Yeah.
For many years to come, the place where they make the big drops.
Until they have their own Marvel Con.
Yeah.
And yeah, if they don't call it, I'm with MK, if they don't call it Avenger Con, then they're missing out. They're missing out.
Yeah, we need an Avenger Con.
Oh, Deadline reported. This is Theodore's super chat.
Thank you, Theodore.
Deadline reported that Mia Goth added to the Blade movie. Whoa, finally some movement on that, huh?
Yep.
I was starting to get worried that they weren't gonna make it or was gonna go to streaming or something instead.
Switching that? I thought they were turning Armor Wars into a movie and making Blade into a TV series.
I don't know if that's confirmed.
I don't know if that's confirmed or not, but I remember something like that. They were switching some things up, especially with Armor Wars and with Blade. So, but I'm honestly, I want to see both of those, whether or not they are in a TV show. I am just so excited for the next thing that's coming out from Marvel, and that is going to be Secret Invasion.
Yeah,
I want to see that so bad.
Yeah,
even though I know it's going to be completely different than the comic books because they're in such a different place.
Yeah, they're too far this way to like try to correct and go this way. But either way, I feel good about that show. Okay. And supposedly Blade is going to start filming in June. Yay, okay. Finally. Mahershala Ali, let's go. And apparently Mia Goth is playing Lilith, the daughter of Dracula. Dude, she's perfect. She's perfect for that. I think she was in Suspiria. Ooh. Oh, she's perfect. Yeah, love. Okay. We're going to go ahead and move on. You guys, thank you so much for all of your super chats. We're going to move on to our...
That's just... Yeah, one more. Now we'll talk about this.
Jay, thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Blade is scheduled and confirmed to start production this summer to release in theaters in 2024.
Okay. And then I guess it's just them changing Armor Wars to into a movie instead of a TV series.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Ruth Carter, costume designer for Blade. I would love that. Academy Award winning.
Mm-hmm. Anytime you add Academy Award winning anything to a movie.
She's great. She's got a great eye for I love her work. Okay, moving on to our final topic. We're gonna just because we're like this was supposed to be a 45-minute show. We were talking about this and now it's almost an hour. But we'll talk about a little bit with the future of Kang. I don't want to talk too much about the allegations that's happening with Jonathan Majors right now. I'm gonna let that do its thing because I think there's a lot of things we probably don't know about. What we do know is that he, I think he has a court date.
He was arrested.
I
think it's May 8th. And also, he was arrested.
He was arrested, but we knew that already. That was like the first piece of news that broke. We also have heard about the management and PR team parting ways with Jonathan. I think I also read that he was dropped from a couple of projects. I can't remember if it was movie or series. No announcement or anything from Marvel as of yet. So I'm not gonna add any more like gas to the fire. I'm just gonna let the people who are involved do their thing, and I'll read the final thing when it's resolved.
Yeah. Now, my personal guess on what's going to happen is Marvel's going to wait. They're going to wait to see exactly how this plays out, because they've already filmed everything with Jonathan Majors in Loki season 2. So they're not going to go back and change that.
No.
So we know that is already set in the can.
We also don't know how much Kang is actually going to be in Loki, you know?
I think he's going to be in it a lot after that.
Have you all seen Ant-Man 3?
Ant-Man and Ant-Man 3. I'm about ready to do
we're going to
talk a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit of a spoiler for that, but that came out back in the beginning of the year. But yes, a little spoiler for Ant-Man and the Wasp. If you haven't seen it, 3, 2, 1. At the end credit scene, we do see Loki and Morbius and Mobius. Sorry,
that's wrong.
Other alternate reality.
Not Michael Morbius.
But we do see them looking for He Who Remains, who is now a different Kang. But I'm just curious it seems like he's going to play a pretty big role if they've already found him, and they're going to try to use him throughout the entire series. But this is the thing. I'm like, how big? I mean, is there going to be more than one Kang in Loki? Are they putting multiple Jonathan Majors in there? And once it's done, can they recast after that point? I think if things get worse with Jonathan Majors, yes, they're going to be like, you know what? We have plenty of time. We're going to just shift actors
for the future of. I mean, they literally have a project coming out that's called it's the Kang Dynasty.
Yeah.
So that's pretty important. I think it's a wait and see kind of a situation.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, and we got the court date coming up anyways. So we will see how things play out in court, and but I think with Kang, one of the good things, Loki season 2 aside, is that we're quite early with Kang's story.
Yes.
So yes, we have him established, but also the good thing about Kang is that if the appearance changes a little bit.
Yeah, it's
they changed from Terrence Howard to oh no, why can't I think of Don Cheadle? So
true.
And there was zero explanation. I don't even think they addressed it. So I think if they had to, we'd be fine. It's just finding the right actor for the role.
Yeah. So it's all right now. It's definitely 100% in the wait and see what happens, and see. Who knows? Maybe Jonathan Majors can make amends. Maybe his name gets cleared.
We don't know.
We don't know what's going to happen. So, but I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with the future of Kang.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Edward Norton and Ruffalo.
Oh yeah,
that's a big
There
one.
are a couple big switches that did happen just because Marvel and the actor just parted ways. Yes. So, and I'm just a little bummed too, because I've been a fan of Jonathan Majors since we saw him in Lovecraft
Country.
Lovecraft Country. He did an amazing job in that. And it's always just a little bit of a no.
Oh no, what happened?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So with that, we will just wait and see what happens. And that will bring us to the end of today's live. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you to everybody who sent in your super chat. We super appreciate it. I know our schedule's insane, so I don't even know when our next live would be. I don't even know if we can do one next week. Do you know? Next Saturday?
Honestly, if I book another gig, I'm not going to be able to make it.
So it's a wait and see situation, but maybe we can try to do at least once a month.
Yeah,
at the very least, because I think we can maybe manage.
And I'd like to do it on Saturdays too, because I feel like more people are able to join us.
Yeah, and it's just it's very casual and fun. Get to hang out with you guys and chat about stuff. For an hour or so. But this room is getting toasty. It is 80 something degrees in LA today. 88 degrees today, right now.
It's ice cream temperature.
So we're going to go get some ice cream. When is our next Twitch stream? Ooh, my schedule next week is kind of insane. I have 4 things going on next week. So I don't know, because if I go to an event or a screening, then that means I have to put in the work to review said movie or cover and etc. So all my energy kind of go towards that. But I would like to stream. I kind of want to finish that horror game.
Yeah.
That I don't even remember how to play it anymore, but I remember it was super scary. That's a daytime play. So I do want to get back into it, but next week is kind of crazy. So hopefully soon. And then this one's got a birthday coming up in about 2 weeks. Yay! So if you guys want to follow us on our socials, it could be, well, actually, I don't even feel like I post as much on the movie couple, but I probably should. You know what? Keep an eye on our community tab on YouTube. That's probably where I put the updates of like when we're gonna do like a Twitch stream. I started doing that on there. So I enjoy streaming on Twitch. It's even more casual than this. It's just me like you just playing games and crying in fear. That's usually how it goes.
Crying in fear.
It is, yeah.
And especially if some people have like those little cards.
I don't even think he's here today.
Black Loki's not. No.
I don't think he's in.
I mean, honestly, he just comes. He just wants to scare you.
He's successfully very good. He's
really good at the timing.
Yeah. All right, guys. We love you so much. Thanks for being here, and we will see you guys the next time we stream, whenever that may be. All right, guys. Take it easy. See you later. Bye.
Bye.